Afternoon. My name is Dominique Hill, and today I'll be discussing key features of United States and international environmental laws. So, to begin our topic, we'll discuss federal environmental frameworks. This includes some core statutes, regulatory structures, and central principles surrounding agencies like the EPA. So, U.S. environmental law operates a combination of federal statutes like the Clean Air Act, Clean Water Act, Conservation and Recovery Act, and the Endangered Species Act. Enforcement is typically led by the EPA, which works with state agencies. The U.S. laws typically does embody a polluter pay principle, which entails that a Superfund requires identified polluters, think of large corporations, to pay cleanup costs. Regulation is enforceable with fines, standards, and permits. Some key features of these systems include federal, state, and localized decentralization, which basically means that the EPA does set federal standards, but it's the state's job to actually implement and enforce those standards alongside with local authorities. Citizen lawsuits are also allowed under several laws, which helps facilitate this enforcement as well. Environmental justice and public participation are increasingly part of rulemaking. And recent legislation like the Inflation Reduction Act supports clean energy adoption and also has a target to reduce emissions. International environmental law principles. This includes some state sovereignty and common concerns of humankind, a duty not to cause transboundary harm, and once again, that polluter pay system with CBDR and UNFCCC. International environmental law is built on core principles, including a respect for state sovereignty and the recognition that the environment is a common concern of humanity. We must all be in this together. States do have a duty to not cause environmental damage beyond their borders. For example, Trail Smelter has a case established transboundary harm principle, and other foundational rules, including in the polluter pay principle, just like it is in the United States. Precautionary principle, environmental impact assessment obligations, and common but differentiated responsibilities, or the CBDR, which is notably in climate treaties like the UNFCCC and the Paris Agreement. This slide illustrates a comparison between the United States and internationally. So legal force enforcement principles, scope, and participation in justice are all compared values. For example, legal force within the United States is binding statutory law, whereas internationally it focuses on the use of treaties. For enforcement, it can be done federally or by citizens. And internationally, it's dependent upon state complaints. There are a lot of key differences, but ultimately the importance is making sure that the environment is cared for. Thank you.